and welcome to a new video. Today I am going to talk about something very special that is very dear to my heart, and that is my new travel company, LingoTravels. LingoTravels. What is LingoTravels? LingoTravels is my new travel company that I've recently launched this month. LingoTravel is basically an immersion language retreat. It is not your average language school or travel company, but it is everything combined. Everything that I talk about that is effective to learn new languages, which is cultural immersion. And basically we are traveling. While traveling, we are learning a new language. I'm teaching you Spanish, French, and Portuguese. I'm teaching you the basics of those three languages. So with every trip, we have lessons, we have daily lessons plus daily activities, which will allow us to fully immerse ourselves into the culture, not only the language, but also the culture. So everything I've been talking about on this channel and that I'm always talking about. And I started my retreats a year and a half ago. 2019, July 2019 was the first retreat, and it was super fun. The first retreat was in Cuba. We had a Spanish full immersion retreat that was for 14 days, and I've really seen people come on the retreat with zero Spanish knowledge, like literally zero, and after 14 days they were able to have a conversation. They would understand so much, like even they were surprised by how much they learned in just 14 days, because you're fully immersed. Of course, those 14 days everything we did was just Spanish, and I absolutely make sure that everything we do is Spanish and is with locals always. So that is why I'm saying that is not your average travel company where you don't get in touch with locals that much. Also with language schools, I have done language trips with language schools. It is different. You will definitely get in touch with locals, but not as much. But I'm really making it a point that with every single activity, we only do it with locals. And I'm really making a point too that we speak as much as possible on these trips. That is why everything is arranged around speaking, around learning how to communicate effectively with locals, around just being with locals and learning from them. Everything we learn from the culture is gonna be brought to us by the locals themselves, because they represent their culture best and they know best how to represent the culture and what they want to show us from their culture.
Yeah, that's where they buy the food supplies with the libreta de abastecimiento. Yeah, with the subsidized. So that's only for Cubans. Yeah, that's not free for everyone to go and buy. So there you can get like beans, rice. Yeah.
In Cuba, for example, that meant sitting down with Cubans and let them tell us the reality of life, how they live in Cuba from day to day.
Es muy complicado, yo no sabía que
As you might know, Cuba is a communist country, so it is quite different than the life here. And being in Cuba, living there, has so many different sides that you won't see as a tourist. You will definitely not see. You will see a little bit here or there, but not the full insight of how life is there. And we learned so much. I've done 3 retreats up until now. The 3 retreats were in Cuba, and the trip members, the people who came with me to Cuba, learned so much. And even I've been there 4 times. I always learn more and more and more about life in Cuba, and that is full immersion. We go to the local markets with the locals. They show us how they buy their food, how they get around, how they get by from day to day, because buying food in Cuba, for example, is a task in itself. It's an adventure in itself. Everyone who knows or who has been to Cuba knows that it is very adventurous. It is very special, and people who have never been there or who don't know the history of Cuba just go there and are surprised to see how reality really is. And that is my focus, that is my point. Not to say that everything is bad, of course not, otherwise people wouldn't go there, but I also want people to see how the locals live really, and not just be there on a tourist mission for 4 or 5 days, just look at beautiful Havana and then go home. No, because that is not the full view of the country and its people. A lot of people have difficulties expressing themselves in a new language. That means they have this kind of fear or embarrassment to speak. And with that retreat, I really want to take this fear away and make people comfortable to speak, because this is the ultimate goal, speaking. That's why we will concentrate on that right from the start. We will speak. From day one, we will speak. That is something that will not be lacking. Speaking, listening, speaking, listening. We're gonna have special language workshops where I will teach you all about the importance of listening and speaking skills so you can apply them while you're there. We will also have language exchanges with locals that I'm super excited about, because I know that this will really help you open up and speak to locals and communicate yourself. Once you see the success of your communication, of locals actually understanding what you're saying, you're gonna be thrilled to learn more and improve. I know that because I've experienced that for myself. When you have those little success moments where you get understood, you're like, wow, this really works, and you are getting more comfortable to express yourself in that new language. I know that this is the way to learn a language effectively. If you are in the country where the language is spoken 24/7 and you're really immersed, in touch with the people, in touch with the culture, these are the best conditions to effectively learn a language, and in no time you will be speaking that language.
That's a lot for rice.
Yeah, because we cook more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Right, I'm
¿Qué
not
estás
gonna
haciendo?
pile four.
Sí, ya también, siente. Sí,
¿Cómo te pico plato aquí?
sí.
Yo soy cubana. Muchas gracias para la comida. Sí. Un placer.
America's like 17.
Bueno, yo sé. Lo que hago para...
Muchas gracias, tiene muy buena pinta. If you are a complete beginner, you'll be surprised at how much you learn in just 2 weeks. ¿Y eso la salsita esa? Con limón. Sí, sí, puede hacerlo. Sí. ¿Ah? Sí, ya tenemos todo. Ya. Alright, we just went to the local farmers market to get everything. Sí, las cosas, a ver las cosas. Sí, ya tenemos todo. Para cocinar, para la clase de cocina. And let me tell you, last year around March was our first trip of the year 2020. It went super well. I really enjoyed the group I'm traveling with. I always enjoy the groups I'm traveling with. Those are different people from all over. So I really like seeing where people are from actually. And it's cool that all the cultures and the people that we are coming together as a group and being together 24/7 makes you learn so much about different cultures, about their cultures too. So the first retreat was in March 2020. It went super well, and that was actually the time when everything started. March 2020, we were still in Cuba, we were chilling, we were having the best time in Cuba, and then everything started and we had to go home. There were no cases in Cuba up until the end of March. That's when the first cases came up. Luckily for us, we were able to complete the retreat for the whole 2 weeks. And after that, I did not have any retreats anymore in 2020. People were asking me, but of course, because everything is so unpredictable. I couldn't really plan any retreats for 2020, and that is why I decided to put them all on hold. Everything was really uncertain, but now borders are opening up again, and now it is more certain to plan a trip. And I've also traveled now. I know that the borders are open, that you can travel. Of course, there are always going to be safety and sanitary measures, but that is worldwide now. And we just can't, at one point we have to continue. At one point we have to continue with life. That is why I decided to relaunch all my trips and with new destinations for 2021. And they're coming. I just launched 3 destinations, which are Cuba, Brazil, and Dubai. So with the 3 destinations I launched another package that is not necessarily language related, which are the culture trips. We call them culture trips. You have the full immersion trip packages, which are 10 to 12 days, where you spend really time in that country learning a new language or improving your language skills that you already have. And we have culture trips where it's not necessarily about the language, but getting to know a culture. So for example, Dubai is one trip that is a cultural trip. We would not learn Arabic there, but we're going there to learn about the culture there. So I think that is a good mixture of trip. Those culture trips are really meant for that, to learn everything to learn as much as possible about the culture, immerse ourselves. But you will also, of course, have the option to take language lessons, but they're not an integrated part of the experience. Let's say that. So you can go on the website LingoTravels.com. The website is launched with all 3 destinations. The first destination is going to be Cuba in March. The second destination is going to be Dubai in April. And the third one, Brazil, I'm super excited for that. Brazil in May. And we're going to learn Portuguese in Brazil. It is going to be super fun. We're going to learn Spanish in Cuba, and we're doing a culture trip to Dubai where we try to take in as much as possible about the Emirati culture. People might say that Dubai does not have so much of a culture, but actually they do have a culture, and that is why I chose this as a destination to really go and find out about the locals' culture, which seems pretty interesting. So if you go on LingoTravels.com, you can look at all destinations, and more destinations are coming up definitely for 2021. So you can look up those 3 destinations with the languages you want to learn, and just click on the destination and read all detailed information on the website LingoTravel.com. There is actually going to be a language event. Well, there will be locals who might watch me from another country, for example Brazil, invited to communicate with the people I'm traveling with. So anyone who wants to learn Portuguese, for example, they will have no problem finding an exchange partner, because I will basically connect you to my Brazilian viewers. So this is something I've had in mind for a very long time, and I'm really excited to work on that project to create a whole language learning community where we exchange our language skills, because I know there are a lot of people who want to learn Spanish, who want to learn French, Portuguese, English, German, and a lot of people from those countries where those languages are spoken watch my channel. So what I actually want to do is combine and connect all of you guys. That is my goal, and with LingoTravels we're definitely aiming to do that. So if you're someone who enjoys traveling but who also wants to learn a new language or improve your language skills, who wants to learn new methods to effectively learn a language, and who wants to learn languages by immersing themselves, because that is honestly one of the best way to do it, then you are more than invited and welcome to join LingoTravels on one of our trips. definitely go on the website LingoTravels.com. And actually right now until the 31st of January, we have a special promotion going on. For every new registration, there's going to be 250 euros off. 250 euros off every new registration. So basically with just 300 euros, you can guarantee your spot to all our destinations of this year. So definitely go on LingoTravels.com and guarantee your spot to your language retreat this year. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.